Okay, obviously when we spoke to you previously, you were asked about the Champions League final and you hoped that it wouldn't have to get moved. It's now been moved amid a fairly dire situation in Ukraine. I just wondered what your thoughts were about the movement of the game and obviously the situation itself.
I mean, the situation itself is desperately sad. I think everybody will think similarly about that. This is just an incredible situation that we have that kind of war within Europe. And therefore, I think the decision that UEFA took was inevitable, and it was the right decision.
The game on Wednesday obviously finished in a good way for Manchester United. I don't know what your thought around the overall performance would be, but given Arsenal's win last night, how important is it you maintain the momentum that you've built up in recent weeks and beat Watford tomorrow and kind of keep up the pressure for the fourth place?
Yeah, it's very important, but this is the case with almost every game we had to play and we will be playing in the future. We have to keep the momentum, win tomorrow against Watford, and then be ready for the upcoming games afterwards against the top teams. So, yes, we are fully aware that we have to win the game tomorrow.
Ian Irving.
Hello, Ralf. I wonder what's your relationship like with Roy Hodgson? Is he someone that you've met down the years, have ever been at any sort of events with?
Yes, we met quite a few times in the past, not in the last 2 years, but before that. I think we haven't played against each other as far as I remember with teams. But we know each other, and I'm looking forward to shaking hands with him before and after the game.
What sort of an impact do you think he's made at Watford? How different do they look now compared to maybe a few weeks ago?
Well, in his first 2.5 games, he played in a 4-4-2, like he used to play with his former clubs. They changed in the third game at halftime, and since then are playing in a 4-3-3 like they did under Ranieri. So the style of football is similar, I would say. They have 3 fast physical strikers, always looking for the transitional moments, playing pretty direct. So this is their biggest threat, and we have to be aware of that. We have to avoid any transitional moments for them and be stable in defense, and at the same time just create as many chances as we possibly can with our own offensive department.
Peter Stevenson.
Ralf, good afternoon. Hi, Ralf, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you, yes.
Sorry to go back to the Ukraine situation again, because it is very, very worrying, but you obviously worked in Moscow before you came to Manchester United. I just wondered how anxious a week it's been for you, maybe getting in touch with former colleagues to see how they are over there?
Well, yes, but I think everybody has the same opinion about what's happening there. This is just a human disaster, what's happening there for all the people involved. Right now, as far as I can tell, the situation in Russia and especially in Moscow is still safe, but this doesn't change anything about the whole situation, which, as I said, is desperately sad. And I still, when I watch TV in the morning or in the evening, I still cannot believe what I see there. This is just a terrible situation, and I very, very much hope that the politicians all over the world can help to de-escalate the situation and finish with those kind of things that are happening there.
Michael Gray.
Hi, Ralf. Ralf, I know you don't like looking any further than the game that you have in front of you, obviously, against Watford. But I've just looked at the fixtures that you have in March. Could it be the defining month of the season for you?
Well, it could, but as you said, for us, it only makes sense to take one game after the other. Now the job is to fully recover from the game the day before yesterday. and play on the highest possible level tomorrow at home. Hopefully win the game against Watford, and then we have a normal week to prepare for the derby at Manchester City.
Andy Mitton.
Hello, Ralf. Are you any clearer as to why your team played as they did in Madrid on Wednesday evening? And also, while we're talking about Madrid, were you aware of the song which the supporters were singing for Anthony Elanga? Do you know the words? Are you aware that the original is from Germany?
Yes, I know. And of course, everybody could hear them singing that song, Rhythm is a Dancer. Yes, I know that song, but it's nice for the boy, and it shows how creative our supporters are. But I also must say, although all the headlines quite logically were in his favor, it was not only him. I think in the second half, we changed the momentum. We regrouped the whole team. And it was not only him, but also the other players and the other subs, including Nemanja Matic, who helped to change the game. In the first half, as I said, we were just, too cautious in possession, too passive, too static when we were in possession of the ball. And we made it in those first 45 minutes too easy for Atletico to always try to put pressure on us. And that's why we had only a very few of those moments that we could challenge them at the back. And this changed in the second half. And that was one of the major reasons why we were able to equalize. And at the end, even with another 5 or 10 minutes to play, we might have even won the game. But in the end, it was about the result. The result was good. I think it leaves us all the chances in the world to proceed to the next round without saying that it makes things easier. This will be a tough game to play in 3 weeks. But now our full focus is on the Premier League and on tomorrow's game against Watford.